technical difficulties. Yeah, yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, my name is Hero. This is Code Strangers, and I have 3 solutions on how we could fix this whole election thing. The answer is simple, guys. The answer is so simple. It's been staring us in the eyes the whole time. Think about it. The solution, we have over 40 years of Biden on record, documentation, speeches, radio station. Did you know he used to have a morning segment on the Morning Joe show? We have facial recognition. We have all the tools we need to make an AI version of Joe Biden. I mean, come on. It's literally staring us right here in the eye. And kudos to by Kyvan Shore guest writer, whoever the fuck. Kudos to this man for putting his face and his name on this and telling the world what we all already know. You mean to tell me AI can well, AI hasn't really solved any major problems yet, but AI could make your favorite singer sing you happy birthday. It could make a picture of Batman without the nipples on his suit. The AI has done a lot of good things for the degenerates of memery. But if there was ever a time a problem that needed to be solved, I think this would be a great problem to solve. Now, this is just my second choice of how we could solve this whole issue, but it's neither here or there. But let's talk about it a little bit. The stake. This is an opinion piece, by the way, from the Huffington Post. It's time for the Biden campaign to embrace AI. This should be good. The stakes of the 2024 presidential election cannot be overstated, with Donald Trump promising to act as a dictator on day one. It's not hyperbolic to say the future of American democracy hangs in the balance against the backdrop. The Biden campaign faces critical challenges, conveying a strong and effective image of President Joe Biden to a population and media ecosystem increasingly focused on the optics over substance. Given the president's concerning performance last week, it's time for the Biden campaign to consider leveraging artificial intelligence to effectively reach the voting public. There's no better way to convey your strength, mental fortitude, than to let a robot just do it for you. While, of course, there are reasonable hesitations to break this dam on the use of modern technology in presidential campaigns, the consequences of not taking this approach could... Okay, did AI write this? This sounds like something AI would write. Or is this guy being paid? Can somebody look this guy up and tell me how much... Who's sponsoring him? Somebody look this guy up and tell me who's sponsoring him, please. Or this sounds like an AI bot wrote this. Moreover, in the currently under-regulated electoral landscape, refusing to use modern tools like AI akin to entering the boxing ring with one hand tied behind your back. He's an educator. Our kids are fucking doomed. Yo, Joe Biden is old and has had a lifelong stutter. He acknowledged in a fiery rally following his debate performance, "I might not walk as easily or talk as smoothly as I used to. This has impeded his ability to communicate with mass audiences with a consistent success. AI augmentation and video rendering could serve to smooth out the bumps while allowing Biden camp to effectively disseminate true information about the state of our democracy. This only makes sense if you really believe that is impossible for us to see someone and think they can do this. This is the equivalent of the argument you have with your grandpas. When Graham got into a car accident at the grocery store, and by a car accident I mean she backed into a parked car, we all looked at each other and collectively said, "Hey, Graham, I think it's time for you to give us your driver's license." And Graham fought tooth and nail. But she eventually relinquished it, and we gave her an allowance to go use Uber. And I'm happy to say Graham passed away surrounded by her loved ones and friends and family, unlike that old ass lady who was going 100 miles per hour because she apparently died while driving and crushed into a house. He's experiencing sundowning. As the day grows longer, he becomes more fatigued. The brain and the body says, I'd rather keep your heart beating than your brain sharp. There's a difference between a sharp old person and a person with, for example, Biden, I think, is 81. Pelosi is 84 or 83. She's older than him, but she's sharper. She's more in tune. But okay, I hear you. Congress has already started to push a whole you can't use AI during campaigns, but I'm just saying, what filter would you put on Biden? Like me personally, I would put him in the anime filter, so he has the big eyes and the ooey thing going on. Like he'll just always have like the cat smirk. I would like to see him with a furry filter. I mean, let's get creative with this. I would like to see him. I'd like to see him like head swap with a bunch of other things. And, because of Pelosi, I made $600 off of her Nvidia bet. I'm up like 500% because of her. But I hear you. What's the third option, Hero? Well, of course, it's mrbeast, the most famous person on the internet and the most subscribed person on YouTube. I mean, he is loved and beloved by everybody. Now, am I subscribed to him? No. Am I subscribed to him on YouTube? No. But can you subscribe to me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter right now? You sure can. Have I ever watched one of his videos? I haven't. But is that going to stop me from acknowledging that this extremely famous social individual and overall entertainer who migrated into politics and then became a demigod and an egomaniac sounds very familiar? Sounds like someone we've already done this with. Donald Trump was an entertainer, not as good. He made a lot of money, and for some reason, no one ever knows how he does it. mrbeast makes a lot of money, but he gives a lot. But I'm not going to sit here and compare mrbeast and Donald Trump like it's a bad thing. They're both famous in their own right for their own different reasons, and it's clear to see mrbeast, no matter how you feel about him, has done some remarkable things, from giving people the ability to see, homeless people places to live, and literally rebuilding food desert areas with places. He's from a humanitarian standpoint, giving people water, he's top tier. But just because you're a good person doesn't mean you're always going to be the right person, right? Let's read on, and just within his art, his way of speech, you can tell he said this, and I don't really think he thought about it. He just said it. If we lower the age to run for president, I'll jump in the race. You want to know what would have been a better use of this statement that has now been seen by 34 million people? Is attaching a link to go register and vote. For someone that's always thinking about how to make content, he sure did miss an opportunity to put the youngest the youngest and biggest demographical group of voters now, Gen Z, Gen X, and what are we, millennials? Missed an opportunity to put us on a map here. So first, fumble. Second, if I were president, I wouldn't care about party lines. Really. Let them cook. I'd just always truly make the American people my number one priority. Commendable. I think a lot more presidents should do that. The amount of foreign politics our presidents are so ineptly and independently proud of is sort of a frown on us, right? For problems I am ignorant in, I'd have experts from the left and the right advise me on them and try to find the middle ground that's best for America. All right, cool. That's an altruistic way of thinking about it. That's a privileged way of thinking about it. That's a way of thinking about it if you've never had to make a tough decision. Because I'm here to tell you, Mr. Beast, I don't know if you know this or not, how would you feel about abortion? And keep in mind, your answer will push or pull 60% of the vote or 40% of the vote. What's the middle ground there? What an annoyingly blatant disregard for the actual experience of people. What a like that level. This reminds. I would ask him like, hey, how do you feel about this, Jimmy? That's his name, right? Hey, there's about 7,000 officers in America who refuse to wear body cameras and they just haven't put them on, even though we know body cameras do keep them safe and accountable at the same time. What would you say to those people? Keep in mind, no president has ever won the election without the express written consent of the police unions. What's your game plan for that? What pseudoscience? Are you accepting pseudoscience or just real science? If one of your experts on the right says the earth is flat, you going to disregard the person on the left? And I think you're right. That it's the blatant hubris that he thinks he can go from making a few YouTube videos, and I'm being very condescending, the biggest YouTube videos in the world, to running a country like it's a TV production. At the end of the show, people just don't go back to their normal lives. The day keeps going. Wouldn't be viable. Don't care about doing things just because my party says I should, and I would focus on uniting the country instead of dividing it. Anyways, we can pick this up in 15 years when I'm old enough to run. And Jimmy, I'm here to tell you, if you run, I'll be your VP. How about that? You know? Because
get down.
You're clearly not equipped to answer a lot of these questions. It does sound very Trumpish because he's an entertainer. So he knows how to talk. But he doesn't know. He clearly wouldn't know how to implement. It's very Trumpian. But I really just thought this was just a fascinating take. 8.2 million people have seen this. Also, once again, no link to go vote. No link to go vote. You know, while I've given you 3 options right now and none of them are actually viable, I'm going to end this by taking a little bit of my own medicine. If you're not registered to vote, go vote. If you're feeling disenfranchised, if you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling like, damn, all of this is too much, take a deep breath. You just got gut punched in the middle of your breath. We get it. You're staggered. But don't go laying down. Get up. Focus in on the major issues happening in your life right now and ask yourself which candidate, which party which local governmental changes you could make today that would make your life better. For me, for people like me, the president doesn't matter. I am the assistant secretary of our division of our state representatives in my county. I know who goes in, goes out. I want to know. Involve yourself to be this, because I'm here to tell you, if you don't participate in your politics, you don't get to complain. You don't get to talk shit. Your voice is meaningless. It's what you put down on the ballot sheet that lets people know that you're part of this shit. You feel me? So I would like to implore you to like, share, subscribe. We're not a political channel. You see how I involve tech in that? That's how I'm going to keep it. Appreciate y'all. All right.